if you're a student and you're wondering, oh, what do I do on campus? You, for whatever reason, you feel like you have a need to get a job or do something that gives you income to support your academics. Or maybe on the flip side, you just like to explore. You're not okay with just being a student. You just want to do more with your life. And if you really want to do something, how can I get started with anything? You will get those answers in this particular blog podcast. It might be a little lengthy, so stay with me. I have my cup of water with me. You should go get yours because it's going to be a long but interesting story. I hope you learn a lot or learn a few things at the end of it. Okay, so let's get started. Testing the mic, 1, 2, 3. Today I want to share with you the story behind the most inspiring entrepreneur in AKSU award that I got last season, last school session. And yep, this is the word, and this is me. The crazy part is that I didn't actually dream of becoming an entrepreneur. I did not plan on becoming an entrepreneur. From a very young age, I knew what I wanted to do in my life, become a civil engineer, and I was working towards that goal. Like I had that mindset from secondary school, civil engineering, that was the dream. But then something happened that kind of like twisted the story and landed me in this position. Okay, currently I am the founder and brand strategist at Korlour.com. Korlour is a branding and digital marketing agency here in Nigeria, and it's one of the brands I started, one of the most outstanding brands I started while in school. We've worked on a lot of projects, branding, marketing projects, designs for businesses, both nationally, locally, and also internationally. And it's like a big win for me, but it did not just start here. Korlour was not in the picture. Okay, this is the logo for Korlour. Korlour was not even in the picture. Let's just go way back to how it all started. Now, this is 2014. I lost my mom. I was in SS2 that time. So I was with her. She was sick, very, very sick for I think a year plus. And then, all glory to God, she departed to be with the Lord. And that was a very heartbreaking time for me. Very heartbreaking. I was young and I didn't know what to do. I just felt like somehow my life has come to a close, but somehow I was still pushing forward because she really taught me how to move forward. But I remember going back to school, and during those times I was like super broke, very, very broke, and I didn't know, like, how do I raise money? Vicinity was still far off. I didn't even know if my sir had the money to give me, or was I just coming like, oh, what can I just do to raise money, right? What can I do legally to raise money just to sustain me right now? If you're in federal government college, in 2020, 2014, 2015, 2016, probably you should know that, we just have this little trades in school. You sell stuff, you sell provisions, and we had this outstanding provision. This is a snack, gala. So you buy gala 10 naira, you sell 20 naira. It's just, you flip it up. So I'm like, before that time, I didn't have any idea in sales. Like, I couldn't sell anything. I've never tried selling anything either. Nah. I think that was my first time. So I can remember reaching out to my friend, very close friend. His name was Testimony. His name is Testimony now. And I'm like, oh, Testimony, Alpha. Omo, give me money. Or let me just try this thing out. I'm broke. I need to do something. So I got 300 naira from that guy. I can remember 300 naira precisely. I gave him the time to return it back to him. And I ordered the first 30 pieces of the snacks. And I was so surprised that night. I think 2 days after, I sold out. I like, okay, that was 600 naira. I used all the 600 naira, sent for 60 pieces, and then it got back. I sold everything off. I had 1,002. So luckily, the guy, I think he bought 100 naira worth of the whole stuff. So I gave him back his 200 naira, and I cleared his debt and had 1K. So with that 1K, I sent for a carton, and then sold out the carton in the week, sent for another one, and it just kept going. With that little business, I was able to raise, I think, up to 20K. That's what I used to buy my first smartphone. First smartphone. That was my very first experience with selling anything, and it wasn't really that hard. Maybe I'll come back and share full details about this, what I did differently, because I wasn't the only one selling. We had like a very massive competition, but I kind of did something different. I'll share that in maybe a different vlog. This one is not for that purpose. So that was my first time of actually selling. And that was how I was able to just get around with secondary school. I was done, and then I was lucky to have admission the same year I was done with school into AKSU. And then one of my mom's friends took up the responsibility to sponsor my my stay here in AKSU. That was the first year. She paid the school fees, the house rent, and that was cool. Now coming back to school, the year one lectures will be on you morning till 8 to 10, 10 to 10 to 12, 12 to 2, just days of lectures. I think 2 weeks after I got back here, I was already broke. I used up my foodstuffs. There was nothing, no money, no cash. I was still grinding. So I called her, Auntie Afa, the foodstuffs you gave me, there's nothing remaining. She's like, okay, just manage. Come on, just manage it. I will see what I can do. So month end, I was still managing. There was nothing to manage, but I was still managing till month end, and then nothing was really coming in. Like hunger, eh? You see hunger. Yeah, I saw Shaggy. Like I was super hungry, like very tired and hungry, and I just had to feel like I just realized that I have to do something, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, but I had to do something. But that wasn't worse. I still kept managing second semester. Towards the end of second semester, the beginning of year two, so it was time to pay school fees. I reached out to her again. I'm like, oh, auntie, okay, school fees. She's like, yeah, about that. I've been meaning to talk to you. I will not be sponsoring your academics again because I have to handle my building project. It was a big one for me to assimilate though. But I think I was more grateful for the fact that she really handled. She was my mom's friend. You know, I was very grateful. So I didn't know how to react. I was just thankful. Like, okay, thank you for what you've done. I understand the fact that you have to do this. I just have to figure out another way for myself. So I'm quite optimistic. I'm sanguine. So I kind of like started more research. Okay, first of all, I started running around trying to see how I can raise the money, borrow here, borrow there, debt here, raise here, everything just to see how I can raise the money. And finally, I got the school fees, and that was good. But I knew I was going back into hunger, like super hunger. So what do I like? How do I just what do I do to avoid this level of hunger? So I now had a lot. I had ideas though, but the thing is, that time in AKSU, that was I think this 2017, I guess. That time there was no development in Ikot Akpan. That is the main campus of AKSU. There was no much development. Basically, just had a few secondary schools. So the idea was teaching, go and get a teaching job. But I can't teach because that would take all my time. And then the pay was quite low, like I think 9K. So 9K, and I didn't really like teaching at that time. Especially having to handle kids and all those things. It was like, how do I need something more sustainable, something scalable, something that will not steal my time. So there were like tech hubs in the Root Hub, the Start Hub. I knew I had basic skills. I went to computer training. I knew how to do graphic designs on a very basic level. So what I kind of like tried to reach out for those jobs and see how I can apply and get in. But the problem was most of the jobs I actually had in Uyo, you had to go down there. Going down there was a big thing because transportation was very high. You need to pay 20K, you spend 30K on transportation every month because it was a very long distance, and the time to be on the road, like you literally spend like I think an hour or 2 hours on the road. So that did not work out well. Even the kids that was closer, you still have to. Transportation was a crazy thing, and the pay using school set was still very low. So that was like a no for me. So what do? I started research, like a lot of research. I was just brainstorming, and I think after a long time, after months, I had the idea of starting a campus magazine. So that was like, okay, that's something I can do on the side that could leverage on my skill, my design skill. I could put that into use. Start a campus magazine, just sell out copies, get news around campus, just something inspiring, and sell it and make profit. So I reached out to a few friends. Then Kubiat, I don't know if she's still watching. I had Kubiat, Ezekiel. Ezekiel was there. Reached out, we planned the whole thing out. We went to our first event, which was in Western Night. We covered the event, got back. I started doing the design and compiling the articles together. When it got to the printing stage, I now realized that there was no capital to print. and even the printing was quite expensive, and the profit margin was either zero or like there was no, I think there was no profit at the end. I was like, what have I gotten myself into? So I reached out to my one of my uncles in the U. I went to see him, and I told him about the idea and why I needed to do that. He was like, "Are you serious? Will you go back to school and focus on your academics? What's your problem? That's distraction for you and this and that." He was just very angry with me that was very distracting, and that's the first time I realized that there may be some ideas you might want to keep it away from your family. Just I'm not saying anything, but sometimes family would always take the positive part. They want to that's only the safety part. Safety. Family is all about safety, so they want to see you safe. Anything that is too much risk, your family might not agree to it because it's too risky. They're scared. Will you be able to handle it with, academics, the whole thing? So they always go for the safest option, even though sometimes you don't need to be on the safe side of life. So wait, you understand that, right? Okay. So that was the option he gave, like, don't do that. That is too risky. Just focus on your school. I wish I understood what he meant because he didn't break it down. He just said, don't do it. That would be too distracting. At the end of the day, he gave me a little cash. I paid my way. I think when I even paid my way back from his house to Up Akpan, I was left with 200 naira, and life continued. So I had to figure out a way around it. So I remember one Sunday I went to church. This period I was very sad. I was depressed. Life was very tiring for me. And I can remember going to church that day, very late though. I sat at the back. I was just very disappointed. And I covered my head on somebody's on the desk because I didn't want anyone to see. I was just very frustrated. So I covered my head on somebody's phone. I'm like, oh, okay, whose phone is this? I shifted the phone. I saw it. Oh, Infinix was an Infinix Hot. I flipped the phone over. The phone belonged to one of my friends. His name is Feteto. He probably watched this. And I swiped up the phone. The phone was not locked. I just saw this article, 48 ways to make money as a student. And I'm like, how come I never thought about, like, how come all my research I've just been thinking in my mind? Like, I've been thinking up here, trying to figure out something here. I never did an actual research of using my phone, using Google to try to see if I can. That was my, sadly, that was my message for that service. I just kept scrolling through. Oh my God. And I wrote down that URL. That was my message for that day. I was so happy. I just started dancing. It felt like that weight was just over. I danced and I went back. I think I didn't wait to the end of service. I just went back home. And then opened the URL. I kept going, checking out the ideas, and I now heard about blogging. I'm like, okay, blogging. And I now linked it back to my idea of campus magazine. So how about I take that magazine, instead of having it, printed where I have to spend on the whole printing and everything, how about I make it turn into a website, and same purpose but different forms. Then maybe later on when we go big, we can now come back to the print magazine. So that was like a big relief for me. Automatically, I started learning how do I design the website. I realized that it will cost me to do that, and I had options though. Blogger, WordPress. I had to research again which one is better and which one is more sustainable for me. Let me drink water. Which one is more sustainable for me? I went with WordPress. WordPress required me to actually, buy the hosting and the domain name. I did not have money, didn't have any spare money to do that kind of investment. So I knew there was the timing had a little window, and it's very risky. This is not a business advice. This is not a financial advice. I do not. If you do not have faith, premium faith, please don't try this. So what I did was, I knew there was an opening where I would have access to money. That was my school fees that was coming up. This was first semester. This was about to start second semester. So I knew I would have access to money, and that was my school fees. I think the first semester payment was 38,000. Second semester was 15,000. So I knew I would have access to 15,000, and I needed to use about 11,000 to host the site. So that was a big window for me. I just kept waiting, preparing, doing research, learning, and immediately I had access to the money. I just knew this is the time for me. If I do not do this now, I don't think there'll be any other time. So I do not recommend this, but I did it. I used part of my school fees I do not recommend this. I do not recommend this to anyone watching this. I used part of my school fees to actually buy the hosting, and I got started. So I used that idea, and then like I just got the website, got the hosting. I was so happy. I got started immediately. I was thinking like, you know, before the money will start rolling in, the whole blogging idea. When somebody enters your website, your data will convert to data, your data will convert to money, and Linda KG, the whole blogging thing. I just got started, and I was going. That was like the very first beginning for me. So I got the website rolling. It was called CampusMuster.com, and I just kept going. But the nicest part was that I did not drop out that year because God came through for me. I just miraculously had the school fees. Someone sent about money, or I just told someone a deadline. I got the money, and I was able to balance back and just realized, okay, maybe God is in this thing. He's really after my success. And the best part was God also connected me to a lot of crazy people on campus that are also into this line of entrepreneurship. We had King IO, King IO. King was also into blogging way back. So he met me one day in school doing, what are you doing? Oh, blogging. Before we talked about it, and he was my coach. So he used to, oh, what do you do? How do you do this? He showed me how to redesign the website. The first one was terrible. He showed me how to redesign the website again, how to get plugins, a lot of crazy things. He really helped me out, and I'm so grateful to him. We had a small community of, we got together. Faith was now into photography. Richman was now our model. King was like more of my support team lead, team guy. We were around just that small community back of auditorium. We got together, we pushed each other, we just kept developing together. That was how it all started here in AKSU. And this is far back like 2017, 2018. And so later on in 2018, later on in 2017, we had an idea to, do a campus tour. That was Faith's idea. And just to explore our campus, creativity, bring more students together that could, become more valuable, develop their skills and personal development, not just being students, just having some kind of extra value for themselves. So that was the idea behind the tour. And then that year was also very financially difficult for me because still, I didn't see any, money in blogging. It didn't work out well, but I was learning. I think the mistake I did was I was going too broad. When I was researching, I ended up learning a lot of things. I learned affiliate marketing, social media management, web design, analytics. I just kept learning a lot. I was just enjoying the process genuinely. At some point, I forgot that I wanted to make money. I just enjoyed the fact that I was now kind of like, I had this so much value, and it was practical. Whatever I learned, I can implement it and see results, see how it's functioning. The whole world of the internet. Amazing tools it was mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing. I had a very big toll on my academics though, I will not lie, because then I didn't realize this time management. There are a lot of things I didn't know. I just enjoyed the process so much that I forgot that I was even a student. And I'll talk about that in probably a different blog entirely. But I just kept going. I was learning. So 1 year after, I was learning so much skills. I knew a lot. I knew my way around the internet. There's nothing I could not find, nothing I could not do on the internet. But the cash was not coming in yet, and I was quite patient. So down the line, I added graphic design skills. That's how I was making a little bit of money. Graphic design skills. I was doing graphic designs. I was doing music promotion because we had a section that had campus music on the blog. So I was doing music promotion for some artists. That brought in extra cash to revenue to the business. Okay, in 2018, we hosted the Campusbro Tour, and it was amazing. A lot of students learned a lot of things. So many students learned a lot of things. They learned graphic designs, cake making, photography. They had a lot. I think about 8 categories. It was an amazing time for us, and also us exploring our skills, because we had to go and search for funding for the event. None of us had that experience before. We had the organization leadership. That was like a very big soft skill added to our hard skills. We knew how to snap picture, but we didn't know how to talk to people. So the whole marketing, selling ticket, that was like another whole new experience for us, and it was amazing for us. And also for the students that came for the program, they learned a whole lot. But I think I'll talk about that in details in a different vlog entirely. But so after the event, I just realized that, okay, now I have this many skills. How about I bring all my skills together and start a digital marketing agency just to provide those skills to business owners and people, and just a way of improving myself also, and revenue and getting cash. 1 year we're going, doing a lot of things, providing skills, web design skills, web design services, graphic design services, a whole lot of things. We're doing SEO, SEM, we're running out anything you could want. But this was even more like a one-man thing. So although it was an agency, but it was just me doing all those things. So it was just crazy. Okay, so the next year, that was 2019, I volunteered for a program. It was an NGO program, a student empowerment program like that. And that ended me in Lagos. Before this time, I connected with a friend. His name is Peter Kajevo. It was a branch that is for MTN. So we talked about my brand. He just said that he liked what I was doing. I was young, had the fire, and he's just really interested. So we had a lot of conversations. So when I went to Lagos, we met up. We talked about the brand extensively. And it was like, your name, PanicBoss. It sounds a bit crazy. Are you guys in therapy? It sounds more like therapy, health related, not like agency. So that I realized that okay, maybe I made a mistake with the naming of the business, and also maybe I had to come back and really assess the brand again, and realize okay, maybe not just the name. I was doing too much steps because also I was still growing broader. I wasn't growing taller. I didn't get much vertical results which I wanted. I'll explain what that means. And we rebranded to Korlour. We took out all the numerous services and we focused on just graphic designs for a start. That was 2019 December. We started from that. We started growing again, gently. And then the best thing happened to me. That was COVID-19. Before now, I had to travel with academics and work, academics and business, academic and business. But for the first time in my life, I had the exclusive opportunity to wake up in the morning and not have to worry about school. I could focus on my business full time. God, it was amazing. I just kept going like full day. It was really nice. My mind was not divided. I was all focused on one thing, and I was just super excited. I think that was 2020. That was when I had my first international client, and we had to do a promotion for him, run ads, help him grow his channel, web design, and from there, recommendations, other clients, and that was just how the whole thing became big. It was, and talking about that same year was when I gave up on Korlour, because when I started Korlour, in PanicBoss I made a mistake of doing everything alone. So in Korlour, I didn't want to make the same mistake again. I had a partner, had a co-founder. So during that December break, when all the students went back home, we stayed back. We branded the whole site. We got the name registered. We designed the site, and then we also went out like, this is not going to be an offline. Let's go offline and see what it feels like. We went to a kit. We talked to a lot of businesses about it. Can we do your designs for you? Let's rebrand your posters. We just did a massive outreach, and that kind of like helped us validate that our service was needed, and valuable. So that was it. But immediately after, that was December, we came back from Christmas, New Year. My guy was nowhere to be found again. No. Guy, how far now? The client started calling all those people. We went out. We covered the whole road in a kit. We got so many contacts, so many. These guys started calling. Oh, where are you guys? Come back. Let's get the jobs done. And the crazy part was again, I invested the money that was supposed to be my school fees. I had some kind of savings, so I used up everything for the trip, funding the website, and I told the guy, I asked him before, guy, is this what you want to do? If you know you will not be interested to the end, please let me just keep the money and use it for fees instead of having like, no, I got you, I did with you. And coming back to school, dude was nowhere to be found. Guy, how far now? Let's continue. I was like, that thing, I think it's really your thing. Is your idea. You're really into these things. I think I want to go back and focus on academics, and I don't. Focus on academics. I was angry. I felt betrayed. I think anger was not even. I was very betrayed. I felt very betrayed. Like, this is not it. guy, come on now. You know what we have been through. Like, this was sleepless night. We did not sleep. Both me and him. We did not sleep. So like, why would you even, what is wrong with you, bro? And dude just left. So I was angry. I dumped the entire project. I dumped it. And I didn't want to work on it again. I was so angry. And the fact that it was a two people thing, the whole company was built to work in a group. It wasn't like a one man thing. And I didn't want to go back to that one man experience. The load was too much for me. It was all structured to have him as project manager while I do the design. So what are you doing, bro? I dumped the whole idea. January, I didn't. February, I forgot about it. And I think March, early March, I remember I had a colleague in school. He posted his own agency. I can't. Yeah, he posted his own agency. So he wanted to start the same thing. So I was like, I reached out to him, guy. This is what we have done so far. We've had the whole site, social media, everything is ready. Project portfolio, just carry the whole thing for free. Just take it, build it. I might come in as an affiliate. I bring customers to you, give my commission because I know I have to, most of my strengths in marketing. I'll come in as an affiliate, do marketing for you. Just since you are like the CEO kind of guy, just take the lead, take the everything like for free. I mean, like I'm not using it, it's wasting, so just take it. Said he would think about it, and then days later, he didn't call. I found him again. Guy, how far now? He said, no, that thing, he's not interested. Why? Because he didn't want to change his name. He didn't want to change the name. He was using more of his name kind of example. Let's say Daniel Digital. So he didn't want to change from Daniel Digital to the Korlour. He just wanted to retain his name, which was like a big thing for him. So he was not interested. So I was like, okay, fine. I dumped it again. And I think second week of March, I was like, what am I really doing in my life? I paid for this thing. This was my energy. Let me just go back and work on it because I was already bored. I was depressed. I wasn't doing anything, and I cannot stay without doing anything. Like I was like, what am I doing in my life? Just wake up in the morning and just walk out. No. So I went back, took up the business. I started dusting everything up again, opened the website again. What were we doing? Where were we trying to find out what we were doing? And then COVID-19 happened. COVID-19 happened, and I was like, whoa! The world just stopped. And for the first time in my life, I was not had the opportunity of waking up in the morning without having to think about school. There was no exams, there was no classes. This is just you doing your thing full time. So from that March, I saw what was coming. I was on BBC a lot. I saw the news that this might be a very big thing. So from that day one, I went back full time. And before school resumed again in September, it was a very big thing. I think that was when we got our first international client, and then another recommendation, and that was like that boost. And we are where we are now. We're still growing. We're not there yet. We're still growing. We have a longer way to go. So this is just like a mini story of a little beginning of a great thing. So that was it. And currently we have Korlour. We've been working with a lot of international clients. We're providing great services. They love us. I don't know, we're doing great. And we've been able to, partner on a lot of other projects, help the student community. And I feel this is also one of my ways of helping the student community. So if you're a student and you have an idea, just work on it. Most people are like, I want to wait till I finish school. It's a different thing. Probably I'll show you what happened to me. I had like this post-school trauma where I was done with, I knew I was about finishing school, but I just realized that, like, what next? Like, what do I do with my life? I was very anxious, man. I was overthinking. I got into depression. I don't know how many other students have experienced. If you've experienced that as a student too, you can just share in the comments. I was like so anxious. What do I do? Like, what do I do in my life now? It was a very different. I was depressed for a long time. It was very crazy for me. So, sometimes you don't wait. Sometimes you just start making that mistake from that time. Just make those mistakes. It's a process. It's a process. You grew. Just like you, when you were born, you did not walk on the first day. You had to lay first, then learn how to sit, crawl, and walk. That's just how I feel my own processes. You have to make mistakes. I love mistakes a lot. Make mistakes, you learn from them, you correct them. People also correct you, criticize you, correct you. Either ways, you just grow. Whatever idea God has put in your mind, you have to implement it, because if you do not, verily, verily, I say unto you, you realize that someone else is doing it. Someone else will steal that idea. Ideas don't just stay in your head forever. If you have an idea, write it down. in your little way, small steps. Just look for a way to implement it. Don't wait for you to have it all figured out. It doesn't work like that. Clarity comes in the process. You take those steps. As you take those steps, you make mistakes, you win, you learn. That is how you have clarity. Don't wait forever. So I hope this story actually inspires you. This is my story. This is my story. This is my story. And it's a process. I still have a longer way to go. And I hope this helped you. So if you have any question about how to start your own business, what to do on campus, just reach out to, drop your comment below. I'll reply to you. I don't know where you're watching this from. Or you can reach out to me on WhatsApp. I might put my number in the description. Just ask the questions. I am willing to help you. And stay colorful. Do not forget to subscribe. If just so that you can, I will share a lot of other stories I told you I will share. Yes, I'll make different videos on those ones. And I hope this story helps you in your journey into entrepreneurship, in your process of becoming a better you, and in life. So thank you, subscribe, and stay colorful. Bye. Bye. Wait, why that long bye? Bye. Wait, you're still here? Come on, subscribe.